As I prepare for this show this morning, I try to think of one wow moment in the 2023 West Indies CG Super 50 cricket tournament. And as I look through the tournament, the biggest talking point for me in this tournament remains the points structure, the awarding of points to team. And after 30 matches in our top white ball tournament in the region, the only thing that I can talk about still is the point standing. However, it comes down to one match, and both the Leeward Islands Hurricane and the Trinidad and Tobago Red Force, they deserve to be in the finals. For although the standard of cricket is not at the desired level that we would want it to be, they have played the best cricket so far. Hello everyone and welcome to the show. Thank you for being here. As I go through the statistics in the tournament and I look at the performances of the players, I try to determine a winner for today's game. That will come later. But let us look at the teams. In the case of the Leeward Islands Hurricane, Justin Greaves, who is the leading run scorer in the tournament, having scored 391 runs so far with a top score of 129 and averaging almost 98 with a strike rate of 85, leads the Leeward Islands batting. He opened with Kjorn Ottley, who have scored 235 runs so far in the tournament. His highest score was that 80 not out against the Jamaican Scorpion, but his average is below 40. However, very importantly, and this is maybe one of the determining factor in today's match, his strike rate of 150.64 suggests that he gets along with it. And of all the batsmen in this final, he has the highest strike rate. Also on 235 runs with Kjorn Ottley is Jamar Hamilton. His top score ever is 76, which he got in the semifinals against the Barbados Pride. He averages 47 and have a decent strike rate of 91.43. When we look at the top run scorer in the tournament, while Justin Greaves is number 1, Darren Bravo is number 2, and Kjorn Ottley is number 3. It therefore means 2 of the top 3 run scorers in the tournament represent the Trinidad and Tobago Red Force. However, in that top 10 is Powell and Hamilton, while no other Leeward Islands batsman, no other Trinidad and Tobago Red Force batsman is in that top 10. So Trinidad and Tobago Red Force, they'll be looking to the Leeward Islands Hurricane will be looking to Justin Greaves, Jamar Hamilton, and Kjorn Ottley to continue to get the runs. But they will also be hoping that Casey Carty comes good. Casey Carty is expected to be in the West Indies white ball squad to play against England. And the West Indies, and we supporters of West Indies cricket, would really want to see Casey Carty comes good in these finals. They are also hoping that Kofi James can rediscover some of the batting form that he had last year. One of the big disappointments for me in this tournament, real big disappointment, has been Rahkeem Cornwall. He has not shown the level of intensity that he showed last year or even in the regional 4-day cricket tournament this year. He has not performed at the level with the bat, neither with the ball. However, today might just be Rahkeem Cornwall day. And if Rahkeem Cornwall gets off, especially with the bat, if the Leeward Islands Hurricane bat first, he may well take the match away from the Trinidad and Tobago Red Force. When it comes to the bowling department for the Leeward Islands Hurricane, Hayden Walsh with 18 wickets is one of the leading wicket taker in the tournament. Yannic Cariah from Trinidad and Tobago Red Force is also on 18 wickets. Interestingly, both of them bowl leg spinners. So it's 18 wickets. His average is getting his wicket at 12.77. His economy is just about 5, and he's getting a wicket every 16 deliveries. So that's not bad. However, backing up Walsh, backing up Hayden Walsh is also Darien Doram, who have gotten 16 wickets in the tournament so far at a meagerly average of 11.06 and an economy of less than 3.5. That is no mean feat. That is high quality stuff. Whether Doram is a very good bowler, or is it that the batsmen just cannot play spin, as we heard so often in the Caribbean, is left to be seen. But those are impressive statistics by the left-arm, slow orthodox spin bowler. But before either get to the spinner, they will have to negotiate Alzira Joseph and O'Shane Thomas. Thomas have not gotten many wickets in the tournament, but he and Joseph form a lethal pace partnership up front. And some of those wickets that Joseph got, maybe, it is just maybe because of the pressure that Thomas is creating at the other end. Because both bowlers are bowling at above 140 kilometers. There's no time gun that I've seen at the tournament. Maybe I just missed it. But safe to say that both are bowling above 140. Maybe if there was a time gun there, you would see that they are bowling very close to 150. But I do not want to say that. I prefer to be conservative and say that they are bowling above 140. I think that this is where the match lies. That opening spell from Joseph and O'Shane Thomas, if the Trinidad and Tobago Red Force batsmen, that top order, can able to deal with that opening burst from these two pace bowlers, then they would have set Trinidad and Tobago Red Force on the path to victory. When it comes to the batting department for the Trinidad and Tobago Red Force, they'll be looking to Darren Bravo, who's the second leading run scorer in the tournament with 376 runs. His highest score of 139 not out, and with an average of 94 and a strike rate of 90.16, means he's in a rich vein of form. And many are calling for his inclusion in the West Indies White ODI squad to play England. There's a loud shout for Darren Bravo to be included in that squad. He's ably backed up by Kjorn Ottley with 294 runs, who, as I said earlier, is third among the run scorers. His top score of 134 not out, averaging 49 and a strike rate of 79.89, which is a little on the slow side. But the fact is, he opened the batting and he usually get the team off to a good start. We have seen in this tournament where when the Trinidad and Tobago top order failed, Jason Mohammed, who have scored 214 runs, averaging just about 36 with a strike rate of 76, also helped to pop up that Trinidad and Tobago Red Force batting when the top order failed. Yannic Cariah have also contributed, and along with Hussein and Hines, also Narine, the Trinidad and Tobago Red Force will be expecting runs from these players. But the man that they all have to contend with, despite Bravo form, despite Kjorn Ottley, despite what Mohammed have done, the man that the Leeward Islands Hurricane will really want to get rid of in today's final is Nicholas Pooran. Pooran can really take the match away from the Leeward Island Hurricanes if he gets going. Whether batting first or second, he is the most dangerous batsman on show today. Despite Cornwall, despite all the other batsmen, despite Karen Powell's strike rate of above 150, Nicholas Pooran will be the most dangerous batsman on show today. When it comes to the Trinidad and Tobago Red Force bowling, Cariah, who is joint leading wicket taker with Hayden Walsh on 18, is getting his wicket at an average of 14.33 runs. His economy, however, is a little on the high side, almost 6. But then his strike rate of getting a wicket every 15 deliveries, that means he's getting almost 4 wickets a match. 15 times 4 is 60. And he's bowling, if he bowls his entire spell, he will bowl 60 deliveries. That means, as I said, he's getting 4 wickets per 10 overs. But interestingly though, backing up that Trinidad and Tobago Red Force attack is Sunil Narine, who is the 3rd leading wicket taker in the tournament with 17 wickets. His average is 9.7. That means he's getting a wicket while giving up only 9.7 runs, only giving up 10 runs for each wicket that he's getting. His economy though of 2.61 and his strike rate of 22.23. That means he gets 2 or 3 wickets every time he bowls 10 overs. Therein though lie the key for me in this match. The Leeward Islands Hurricane cannot allow Sunil Narine to bowl his 10 overs and get 2 or 3 wickets for less than 30 runs. The Leeward Islands Hurricane batsmen must attack, not foolishly, not swinging from the hip wildly, but they must find a way to counter Sunil Narine if they're going to win this match, because they cannot allow him to go for less than 45 runs in his 10 overs. We saw in the semi-finals, Trinidad and Tobago Red Force against Guyana Happy Eagle, Sunil Narine bowled his 10 overs for 12 runs. And although not picking up a wicket, Leeward Islands Hurricane cannot allow anything similar to happen in this finals. They have been playing good cricket. I look at the highest score for both teams, and incidentally, both teams' highest score is 293. And then I looked at the second highest score for both teams, and again, I don't know if it's coincidence or if it is planned, but both teams' second highest score is 290. It should be an exciting finals today at the Brian Lara Cricket Academy, and I hope the best team will win. At this stage, I emotionally want the Leeward Islands Hurricane to win. But when I assess it all, if I have to place a bet, I'm going with the Trinidad and Tobago Red Force. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the show. I'm glad you're here. Good morning and a happy morning. Atina, good morning to you. Merrick Meredith, good morning. Good morning to you, Merrick Meredith. Good morning, Christopher Bristol. How are you? Good to see you. Yes, man, I wake up early despite watching the first part of the match between Bangladesh and Australia. Supernova 22, hello, welcome to the show. You know how happy I am, Supernova 22, that I got your name right? I'm very happy. Hayden Walsh Jr. has 2 off centuries and a 49 also. He's literally did all he could to get back into the West Indies team. Colors, however, I'm still taking Moti and Cariah above him versus England. Very interesting point there, Supernova 22. And this is going to be a difficult decision for the West Indies selectors. No doubt they probably would have already picked the team. As I've picked my squad, I've picked a 15-man squad. I think that Cricket West Indies, however, may go with a 13-man squad, especially that the matches are being played at home. So they may go with a 13. In my 15-man squad, I have all 3 spinners. I have Moti, I have Cariah, and I have Walsh. But if Cricket West Indies is going with a 13-man squad, it's going to be very, very interesting, because no doubt Hayden Walsh have performed brilliantly in this year regional Super 50 tournament. Alzari shows us what fiery, raw, and accurate pace can do versus batsmen. After the batsmen scampering, running, and ducking, he's a league above the rest of fast bowlers. Imagine if this was St. Lucia. You have shown that supernova 22, and I would have made that comment, I would have pointed it out. But we cannot ignore the contribution of Thomas from the other end. Although he's not bowling at the same level and getting the wickets that Joseph is getting, the fact that the batsmen have nowhere to run to. Imagine if, say, opening that attack with Joseph was Kyle Myers at the other end. Maybe, just maybe, Joseph would not have gotten so many wickets, because at least the batsmen would have known that the pressure is being eased at the other end. Batsmen batting partnership, bowlers, all the great bowling pair, all the great bowlers in the history of cricket, hunting pair. Walsh and Ambrose are a great example, or probably our last great example of bowlers hunting in pairs. Joseph has been outstanding. He has been brilliant. But in my opinion, the contribution of Thomas from the other end, bowling equally as fast, not as accurately and as deadly as Joseph, but the sheer pace of the other end cornered the batsmen, and they are proving a devastating combination. Mad Pryor, hello, good morning, and welcome to the show. Also, Bravo has been doing this in the last Super 50 and 4-day season as well. Not just this current one. Bravo deserve the recall, as we do need a consistent number 3. And Matt Pryor to be, and we always say, and in this community, we always say, we picked our team on performance, not age, not country, not color, not social class, on performance. Going by performance in this tournament, I know originally I have Rutherford in my squad ahead of Bravo, but I must say I will now have to replace Rutherford with Bravo in my squad. In the regional 4-day cricket tournament earlier this year, Bravo started out well, but as it come towards the back end, he tapered off. Not so in this regional Super 50 tournament. He has been consistent right through the tournament. And I would not be surprised if Cricket West Indies include him in their ODI squad. These have been the 2 best teams in the tournament by a mile. I agree with you. I just hope we get an even and competitive final with scores above 250. The majority of the tournament have been extremely poor, sadly, exactly Supernova 22. I don't think Leeward is far better than the Academy. They are better, but not by a mile. The bowling attack has carried them, and that's good for West Indies cricket. So Matt Pryor replying to Supernova 22. Is today the day Cornwall finally step up and does something with the bat or ball in the Super 50? Now, Cornwall has been appointed captain for, I think, for the Phillies United in the US Premier League cricket tournament that starts on Monday. Cornwall has been appointed captain for that team. And I wonder sometimes if Cornwall focus have shift to the US Premier League instead of being on the Super 50. I agree, O'Shane has backed up Alzari very well with his pace also, being unlucky in getting the wickets. Thank you for that comment. And Matt Pryor is supporting the point. Both Thomas and Joseph should be used as the pace options for England. Thomas has kept the pressure up to complement Joseph indeed. Very well said, gentlemen. There will definitely be some hard decisions for Cricket West Indies when it comes to the England ODI squad. Does Rutherford, Greaves, Bravo all make it? And who's going to be left out from the qualifiers squad? When it comes to Rutherford, Bravo, and Greaves, you cannot leave out Greaves. It would be injustice to leave out Greaves after this performance. And especially that 60-odd runs in the semi-finals also shows that I think that it is not the Greaves that played against Ireland in 2022, but it's a different person now. So I would want Greaves in my team. I would definitely go with Greaves, and I will go with Bravo. In other cricket news, Hayley Matthews was Player of the Month for October. She was the ICC Women Cricketer of the Month for the month of October. Those 310 runs against Australia in those 3 T20 international matches, averaging 155 and scoring 1 century and 2 50s. And in fact, those 2 50s include a 99 not out in the very first match. Undoubtedly, Hayley Matthews was clearly the ICC Women Cricketer of the Month for the month of October. This is what she has to say, and I'm paraphrasing here. I love pulling on the West Indies jersey. It was pretty special to perform the way I did in Australia. But knowing how many people faces in the Caribbean, I put a smile on back. To know how many people faces I put a smile on back home in the Caribbean. That's what's mean the most to me. As I read that statement, the thing that came to my mind is that, does the male team realize how happy we are when they perform at their best and win cricket matches? Do they realize how important it is for the psyche of the West Indies people that they take this game seriously and perform at their best? The other thing I want to mention this morning, and the ICC briefly released a statement yesterday that Sri Lankan cricket have been suspended pending a meeting of the ICC board. This suspension yesterday was immediate. I read the statement, the very short statement from the ICC goes like this. The ICC board met today and determined that Sri Lanka cricket is in serious breach of its obligation as a member, in particular, the requirement to manage its affairs autonomously and ensure that there is no government interference in the governance, regulation, and or administration of cricket in Sri Lanka. Now, let me say this. What I'm getting to understand is that this is a power play by Shami Silva. Some persons believe that this is a power play by the president of Sri Lanka cricket. After what the Sri Lanka government considered the poor performance of the Sri Lanka team at the ODI Cricket World Cup, the government, through its sports minister, who's a avid cricketer and who used to play cricket in his younger days, suspended the Sri Lanka Cricket Board, dissolved it as a member of the government. Now, Shami Silva went to the courts of cricket, went to the courts in Sri Lanka, and the courts reinstalled the Sri Lanka Cricket Board as it then comprised. My understanding is that Shami Silva went to the ICC, and remember that Shami Silva is a part of the ICC board. As a member of the 12, as a president of one of the 12 full members of the ICC, he's a part of the board. And Shami Silva, was able to convince the ICC board to suspend Sri Lanka cricket. That's one of the theory that is out there, that it was a case of Shami Silva, the president of Sri Lanka cricket, who insists that the ICC suspended Sri Lanka cricket. So persons are asking that ahead of the meeting, what will happen to cricket in Sri Lanka? The fact is that for the next month or two, there'll be no international cricket for Sri Lanka cricket. The Sri Lanka cricketers will be engaged in a domestic competition, a domestic T10 cricket competition, but there'll be no international cricket. So this is politics at the highest level. That's how it is coming across. We must note, however, that earlier this year, that Sri Lanka have also suspended their domestic season, their first-class season. 2 or 3 years ago, the format of the Sri Lanka domestic season was changed, the format of how it operates. Just like how last year, the CG Super50 tournament was 2 zones, and the top 2 from each zone qualify for the semifinals. But this year now, all 8 teams play each other. So the format, the West Indies Super50 format changed from last year to this year. I cannot tell you the details of the Sri Lanka format, but earlier this year, not earlier this year, 2 years ago, the format was changed. But earlier this year, the format that they had changed to, in the middle of their competition, they revert to the original format that was changed a few years ago. And so the Minister of Sport in Sri Lanka stepped in and suspended the domestic league. So there's a lot that is happening in cricket Sri Lanka, and it's left to see. It is left to see where this goes. Interestingly, however, and this should be of concern to the cricketing world, from January 13th to February 4 next year, the ICC Under-19 male cricket tournament is scheduled for Sri Lanka. That's less than 2 months ago, or just about 2 months from now, that tournament is expected to be played in Sri Lanka. So there's very interesting times ahead for the cricketing world. Now, I'm certain if this was happening in the Caribbean, if this was happening in the West Indies, people, you'd have heard loud cry from the racists, loud cries saying that the tournament should be removed from the West Indies. Those voices would have been heard already. But it is left to be seen what will happen in Sri Lanka, knowing that this tournament for the youngsters comes up from January 13th to February 4th. And finally this morning, and please slash a like on the video and click on the subscribe button. I hope I was able to bring some clarity to the Sri Lanka situation there. I hope that you understand. Alan Donald was asked to resign. He was asked to resign as Bangladeshi bowling coach. He would have put out a statement saying that he is resigning. But this statement came after a meeting with the Bangladeshi Cricket Board President, President Nazbul Hassan, who you all know runs Bangladeshi cricket with an iron hand. It is not like in the West Indies where the selectors carry the team to the director of cricket. He ratified it. Nazbul Hassan have the final say on everything in Sri Lankan cricket, including the 11 that took the field. And he's a very good friend of Shakib Al Hassan. And when Anal Donald came out and criticized Shakib Al Hassan after that run out, after that timeout, I personally know that his days were numbered. And so after a meeting with the president, Anal Donald put out a statement that he is resigning as bowling coach of Bangladeshi cricket. I think he was asked to do so. I'm really happy that you're here. I'm just saw your comments in the comment section. And so Matt Price saying that Charles Brooks Chase were all in the qualifiers. I think those 3 should be the first to get the boot Supernova 22. Interested in Matt Pryor? And please remember to slash a like on the video and click on that subscribe button. I will not be surprised if Chase is included in the West Indies squad. Not be. He performed very well in the T20 series against India. I don't think that he should be in any test team, but he performed very well in that T20 series. And he has been doing very well also in this year CG Super 50 tournament. I think he have gotten about 15 or 16 wickets, and he have also contributed with the bat for the Barbados Pride. I would not be surprised. And it is not a decision that I would be against if Chase is included in the West Indies ODI squad. Thank you all for tuning in. It has been a long show, but join me later this afternoon for a live watch-along, especially in the second innings of the match. We hope we have a very exciting match. God bless you and see you then.